Hello everybody, grade 4 students at Al Schools. Today we're going to start with a new story. It is an interesting story that I hope you will like and enjoy. But before we start with our story, I want to ask you some questions and I want you to stop and think about them. Question number 1. Have you ever made something that no one else had made before? Question number 2. What do we call the new things that are made? Well, new things that are made are called inventions. Inventions such as bikes and cars. They help people move faster. Inventions such as telephones and computers. They help people communicate. Even pencils, papers, and iPods. They are inventions. Question number 3. Why do people invent? Okay, people invent simply because inventions make our lives better. And also because inventions help us learn and entertain us. For example, the computer helps us learn. And the washing machine makes our life better and easier. Well, what do we call the people who invent new things? They are the inventors. So, people who invent new things are called inventors. And now it's your turn to think of some inventions you know. You can write the inventions you know on a piece of paper. And once you're done, I want you to go to your reading book, volume 2, and open it to page 239. Start reading the paragraph. And while you're reading, I want you to underline the inventions mentioned in the paragraph. And then I want you to answer this question also on a piece of paper. Why do people invent? And now, dear students, it's time to start with the story. The title of the story is All Aboard. It is Reading Book, Volume 2, page 240. We're going to cover only the first 4 pages of the story today. Of course, we're going to discuss the pictures or the illustrations and the paragraphs, and we're going to practice reading them. You have to follow with me, and it's very good to keep a paper in front of you to take notes on and to answer the questions I'm going to ask you. Before I explain the title of the story, All Aboard, I want you to look carefully at the illustrations of the first 2 pages and listen to the questions I'm gonna ask you to answer them orally. Number 1. What do you see in the 2 pages? Number 2. What is the boy doing? Number 3. What does the boy hold between his hands? Number 4. What do you think the boy is going to do? Number 5. Where is the boy and the man? 6. From his clothes and appearance, how would you describe the boy? And what can you tell about his life? And 7. The boy and the man are going to repair a machine that is moved by an animal. So, what does this tell you about the time of the story? Okay, as we can all see, there is a young boy. He's running to a man. They are outside in a land. The boy is holding some tools or equipment. Maybe he wants to use the set of tools to repair or fix or tinker with the machine. The machine is a carriage and it is moved by an animal. It is not moved by an engine. So we can notice that the story happened long ago. And also from the appearance of the boy and from the clothes he wears, and because he's wearing no shoes, we can notice that he lives a very simple life. Now let's go back to the title of the story. The title of the story is All Aboard. All means everyone or everybody, and here in the title it refers to the passengers. The passengers are a group of people who travel from one place to another by a vehicle. So the word all here in the title refers to the passengers. Aboard means in a vehicle. It means in a train or in a car or in a plane or in a bus or any other vehicle. So all aboard means that all the passengers are in a certain vehicle. So the title of the text is All Aboard. It seems that the story is about some passengers who were traveling through a train, a plane, or a ship, and maybe they faced something that needed them to stay all aboard. Now I want you to guess from the title and from the illustrations we talked about. I want you to guess what the story might be about. And now let's read the yellow box, set a purpose box, just to have an overview of the story. All Aboard is a real story of a kid named Elijah McCoy, who became one of the most important inventors of his time. Elijah had a dream to work with machines, but he faced a problem. Read All Aboard to find out what Elijah's problem was and how solving it led him to new ideas. Well, this short paragraph helps us understand that the main character of the story is Elijah McCoy, who is a young boy and who became one of the most important and famous inventors of his time. And we can know that Elijah had a dream to work with machines, and that he faced a problem, and solving the problem helped him come up with new ideas or new inventions. Now, to know more about the story and about Elijah McCoy, we have to start reading the story. Now I'll start reading the first two paragraphs of the story. You have to listen very carefully and to follow with me, and then when I finish reading, I will ask you some questions that you have to answer written on a piece of paper. Summer days were mowing days in Ontario. Elijah McCoy watched his father cut the tall grass. He was waiting for the machine to break. When it did, he jumped for joy. Elijah was only 6, but already he was good at tinkering with tools. Elijah McCoy was born in 1844. His parents had come to Canada on the Underground Railroad. Elijah and his 11 brothers and sisters kept them busy. Now read the two paragraphs alone to answer the following questions. 1. What's the setting of the story? Setting means time and place. So, what's the time and the place of the story? Number 2. Why was Elijah watching his father? 3. How old was Elijah? 4. What was he good at? And finally, when was Elijah born? And now, as you're looking for the answers, I'm going to read the two paragraphs one more time. Summer days were mowing days in Ontario. Elijah McCoy watched his father cut the tall grass. He was waiting for the machine to break. When it did, he jumped for joy. Elijah was only 6, but already he was good at tinkering with tools. Elijah McCoy was born in 1844. His parents had come to Canada on the Underground Railroad. Elijah and his 11 brothers and sisters kept them busy. Now, hopefully you have found the answers of the questions. It's time to check your answers. Question number 1 was, what is the setting of the story? And we said that the setting means time and place. So the time is summer and the place is Ontario, which is a city in Canada. Question number 2, why was Elijah watching his father? The answer is, he was waiting for the machine to break. When it did, he jumped for joy. Number 3, how old was Elijah and what was he good at? The answer is, he was only 6. He was good at tinkering with tools. And the last question was, when was Elijah born? He was born in 1844. Okay, let's go back now to the paragraph to read it again and to explain it. We said that the time of the story is summer days and the place is Ontario, which is a city in Canada. And also we said that the main character of the story is Elijah McCoy. He is a young boy. This is Elijah and he's a young boy and he was only 6. The man next to Elijah is his father. He had this machine and he used to cut the tall grass. Elijah used to stop next to his father. He watched him and he waited for something to happen. He waited for the machine to break. Why? Because when the machine breaks and when something wrong happens to the machine, Elijah jumped for joy and happiness and excitement. And he ran to bring a set of tools to come and fix the machine. Elijah was only 6, but he was very good at tinkering with tools. Elijah McCoy was born in 1844 and he had 11 sisters and brothers. They lived in Canada. And his father and mother were always busy. They were hardworking. Why? For the sake of their sons and daughters. And now you have to listen to the CD you have and to practice reading the paragraph many times. Pages 242 to 143. Let's first of all look at the pictures, the two pictures of the 2 pages. What do you see in the 2 pictures? Who is this young boy? Where do you think he's traveling? Who are those people? Why are they waving their hands? And why do you think this boy is leaving them? Yes, we can guess that this boy is Elijah, and those people are his family. And they are saying their farewell. They are waving their hands to Elijah, because it seems that Elijah is leaving them. He is traveling to a place. We don't know why he's traveling and where he's traveling, but when we read, we can know. Now I'm going to read the two paragraphs of page 242. You have to follow and to listen very carefully, because when I finish, I'll ask you some questions and you have to find the answers of the questions and to write them on a slip of paper. Elijah's mother and father saved every penny they could to send Elijah to school. At 16, he crossed the ocean to study in Scotland. Elijah had a dream. He wanted to work with machines. He wanted to become a mechanical engineer. In 1866, Elijah finished school in Scotland. His family now lived in Michigan. One day, a locomotive rolled into the station with Elijah on board. His mind was crackling with ideas. In Michigan, he was going to be an engineer. Now read again the same two paragraphs to answer the following questions. Number 1. What did Elijah's parents do to send him to school? 2. Where did he go at 16 and why? 3. After he finished school, where did he go back and what was he going to do? 4. What was Elijah's dream? Hopefully you found the answers of the questions. Now it's time to check your answers. So question number 1 was, what did Elijah's parents do to send him to school? They saved every penny to send Elijah to school. Question number 2, where did he go at 16 and why? At 16, he traveled to study in Scotland. 3, what was Elijah's dream? Elijah's dream was to become an engineer. And 4, after he finished school, where did he go back? And what was he going to do? He went to Michigan and he was going to be an engineer. Elijah's father and mother worked very hard in order to earn money and to save money to send Elijah to school. And when he became 16, Elijah decided to travel to Scotland to study there. He wanted to become a mechanical engineer. He wanted to learn how to work with machines. And after many years of studying in Scotland, he came back. And this time, he traveled to Michigan because his family were now in Michigan. And once he reached Michigan, his mind was full of ideas and it was crackling with ideas. Why? Because he was going to be an engineer and he was going to achieve his dream in Michigan. So to make his dream come true, Elijah had to travel and cross the ocean and he had to leave his family for a while. So is achieving someone's dream so easy? And what would someone do to make his dreams come true? Of course no, it is not so easy. To achieve your dream, it is not easy. You have to work hard, you have to study a lot, you have sometimes to stay awake. You also have to pay your effort. Sometimes you need to go away and to leave your family in order to make your dream come true. And this is what Elijah did. Finally, listen to the CD many times and practice reading the 2 pages 241, 242. And once you're done, open your practice book, volume 2 to page 200 and complete part A.